What's up? I'm Keith Kalfas. We're just doing a quick property walk. We'll go in the backyard. Oh, here's the transplant fertilizer from the nursery by my house in Michigan. Transplanting this Rose of Sharon. Nice, it's coming right up. And that one too. Demoing this whole garden bed, saving the good rocks, and everything else just gets flattened out, hauled away. And we're just gonna put topsoil, grass seed, and peat moss. Just turn it back into grass. But those two Rose of Sharons are gonna come here because this particular property, these arborvitaes in Michigan, sometimes they get infected. They were creating a whole privacy wall because there's obviously a pool, but they had died and had to get removed, so now there's no privacy at all. So we're starting off by transplanting the Rose of Sharons, putting them here. We got Mike's transplant fertilizer to prevent transplant shock, so and then we might get some more if the customer wants to fill in. Then we're gonna grade this area, clean it all up, and we're gonna take the excess cobblestone and spread it all over this area. Here there was a bunch of stepping stones. We pulled them up, got rid of the broken ones, and we're gonna relay them so they're nice and clean and flat. But anyways, over here, the back of the property has like a park walkway, and basically this particular job calls for getting rid of these rocks back here because the property owner's dog likes to run back and forth and is kicking up rocks. So the reason why you're doing jobs is important to know. I've learned when you're communicating. So if I'm walking with my guys on a property, first we spend like 20 minutes walking around the property, and I tell them the whole backstory so they understand why the job is getting done. Because they might be like, well, why are we doing this? Well, here's why. The property owner's dog loves to run back and forth, which is awesome, but it's kicking rocks up into the neighbor's lawn and literally far into the neighbor's grass, which is causing, they just maybe just want to be kind. So we're just gonna get rid of this whole garden bed here. We're gonna take this metal edging, we're gonna cut it, we're just gonna tuck it in to the fence line and just stop the garden bed there. And then all this is just gonna get removed. And we're just gonna take this excess cobblestone and now spread it back over into the pool area and the bare areas. And whatever there isn't room for, we'll just spread here. And then once all this is cleaned up, we'll grade it out and put grass seed, peat moss, and fill it back in with the grass. That's the whole job. This job, does it call for a dingo machine? I'd say yes. I might actually go rent one right now. In my business, there's maybe 4 times a year that I even need a dingo, and I've done all the math. I've spent $9,000 in equipment rental fees across like 9 years. One dingo, buying it, that would be a new one, $30,000 to $40,000 across 9 years. I just don't want to be paying on the thing that's going to be sitting around. I'm considering buying one so it can just sit around and maybe we can use it once a month. Somebody said you'll find ways to use it. You're going to find a lot of ways to use it, and I believe that. But I don't know, I kind of like renting it. I don't have to insure it, I don't have to maintain it, I don't have to store it, I don't have to do anything. I could just go rent it when I need it for 270 bucks. Use it and drop it off and be done with it. I kind of really like that idea for my specific business model. But anyways, why I was talking about that is because look at these rocks. There's maybe 8 wheelbarrows of rocks, right? How long would that take? How long does it take to go get a dingo, use the dingo, put gas back in the dingo, drop the dingo off, and pay for the dingo versus the man hours plus the labor on breaking yours and your guys' backs? This is a relatively small area and a small job, but just because I've learned my lesson in the past and it's more convenient to just throw money at the problem, I'm just gonna go get the dingo. I'm gonna go get it right now. I'm gonna go get it, that's it, that's the job. Alright guys, this is driving me nuts even watching this right now, because you're like, what is he doing? Why doesn't he just scoop it all up and get rid of it? Oh my, what is he doing? I'll tell the story a little bit later on in the video of why we're sifting through all these rocks to save them. This one hiccup in communication made the job go on an extra 6 hours, which sucked almost all the profit out of the job. Yeah, fun stuff. Okay, I'll tell you. We were just going to take the dingo, because the dingo's on the other side of the yard, and we were going to take all these rocks and just get rid of them. We were just going to scoop all this up and get rid of it and turn this garden bed back into grass. And I told the customer that when we were done working, we would wash down all the rocks in the job site, wash the dust off the rocks. And the customer thought that we were going to save all the rocks and separate them so he could keep them, and that we were going to clean them all and wash them all off. And I never thought in a million years that a customer would think that they want that done, but apparently there was a miscommunication. And so yeah, we spent hours separating all the rocks and then physically washing them off to keep them. And by the end of the job, we had so much leftover rock, we ended up throwing it away anyways. But now I know to be super, super clear, when you tell the customer you're going to wash everything down and rinse down the concrete and clean up the job site, that does not mean that you're going to physically be rinsing and washing down and saving the rocks. Like, we're literally digging the rocks out of the dirt just so we can save them, these cobblestone. And but the customer thought that's what we were going to do. And I can't get too deep into it because I don't really talk about anything else. But I just learned my lesson, and we ate it, and we saved all the rocks. And then I still made money on the job. It just took an extra 6 hours, which is a long time, because we had a dingo there, so we could just dig all this stuff out and haul it away. So I'm gonna have now, whenever we do rock jobs like this, I'm gonna have
if the customer wants to save the rocks, we can save all the rocks on top that are clean, but any dirty rocks, all that extra work will get billed at $100 an hour to save and sift through and wash off any rocks to save them. Or we could just dump them all at the dump and go get the customer brand new rocks.
All right, still in the process. Found a bunch of fabric under there. That's all gotta come out. We got the stone pretty much ready to go. Gonna get the dingo tomorrow and finish this off. Really cleaned out. The rest of this we'll end up taking with us. All this is going to get respread back over in here and in there.
I'm seriously about to freak out because the 06 F-150 has been pulling around a fucking dump trailer with no pin in the hitch pin. There's the pins in there, but the clip is not on there. What the fuck is going on, man?
Go on Amazon real quick. I'll put a brand new clip on there right now, immediately, and then go on Amazon and buy this and get this on here right now. Nice.
I dropped the trailer at the job site real quick. Now I gotta grab some peat moss for this grass seed and run it up into the depot garden section, dog. Where's the peat moss? It's perfect for putting on top of grass seed. All these beautiful plants. Oh yeah, my wife said she wanted a hibiscus. 50% off. Well, let's get the wife a hibiscus. She said she wanted one. There's the peat moss. There it is. Peat moss. Look at all this gear from a window cleaning job I gotta do Friday. Cool. Let's see what we got going on. Hello, sir. I'm getting my ass handed to me on this job right now, and I built in a bonus for my guys, and my one guy was like, "You don't have to, dude. I know you're getting your ass handed to you on this job." I'm like, no, that's not your fault. Here you go. This job is $2,300 to demo 2 small garden beds, repurpose the cobblestone and spread it around the pool, and then just turn the garden beds back into grass seed. Do you think it would be simple? He's sifting out the good soil. It's so damn heavy. Nice, that looks good. But it's just taking an extra day because of a little hiccup. One little tiny stupid thing I overlooked. Probably an extra 6 hours, so it's not that bad. But that's the name of the game, dude.
I just want to point out that he's taking the flat shovel and pulling all those rocks away from the fence because that cobblestone garden bed had so many rocks that they were falling through the fence into the neighbor's yard. So if you do landscaping and you're demoing garden beds or messing with stone, putting stone down is easy, but removing stone, totally different ball game. I mean, each part of this job we had to go on the other side of the fence with buckets and clean all the stone, thousands and thousands of stones with our fingertips even, and peel it all away, and just to get all that out of there away from the fence, so then we could get it all cleaned up and prepared for grass seed. So, but there's Kyle. That's my foreman, but he's not my foreman. He's Kyle, man. He's a great guy, and he's very articulate. The other guy doesn't like to be in the videos. He never did, but he's a great guy too. I just don't want to say his name, but he's awesome. He's been with me for a while now. But anyways, yeah. See how he's going through, breaking up all that soil to get all those cobblestones out of there. This is where I don't like the dingo either. You'll see it in a few minutes, but the dingo does not dig like the ditch witch does. And I found that out real quick. He's digging all this out by hand. The dingo is just too light duty. The ditch witch will dig that stuff out in 2 seconds. But hey, you can relax and chill and just watch the process.
I'll tell you the learning lesson right now. I was just talking about this on Instagram at Keith Kalfas. Anybody could overlook this, even if you've been doing it for years. This job is $2,300 to demo 2 small garden beds, get rid of them, take the cobblestone from the bed that was here and in that bed over there, and then save the cobblestone and just redisperse it, distribute it around the pool area and around this garden bed. And then whatever else is left, we're gonna get rid of, grade all this, and then just turn it all back into grass. Grass seed, peat moss, hay, job's done. We got a dingo on the job site, and so we were gonna scoop it all and leave it. Yesterday, we had a lot of rock. We were starting to remove it, and I knocked on the door and I asked, for instance, I never talk about my customers in my videos. I get permission to film on the job site. I don't share any personal information about any customers ever, right? It's just unprofessional. This is about landscaping tips. But I did talk to the owner of the property, and I made a mistake in my communication when quoting the job. And on the contract, which is basically, I thought we were going to, any leftover rock that was dirty rock or mixed in the mud or the dirt or underneath the ground, we were just gonna haul off to a dump site. So I knocked on the door and I talked to the customer and I said, hey, we got all the clean rock. We're able to save it, but the rock that's dirty all underneath the ground and stuff, and so we're gonna have to haul it off and get rid of it. But I was curious, some of it's not too dirty, we could save it. Is there anywhere else you want to put it? And the customer was like, well, I don't want you to take any rock off my property. What do you mean? I thought you were gonna wash and wash all the rocks. And I was like, no, what I meant was, when we were talking initially, I was going to take a hose and wash down our entire work area. If we get any tracks from the machine, dirt down your driveway, we're gonna wash down the garden beds, including all the rock, all the dust off the rock and stuff. But I didn't mean I was going to dig up the rock from underground, and then like, I don't have like a big tumbler or something, like a whole system for washing rocks. Now, in the landscape business, if you get decorative stone delivered, sometimes it could be dirty and you're gonna have to wash it all down, and washing rocks isn't too uncommon. But it was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks, like, whoa, I had made a mistake of me saying, there's a book called You Said This, I Heard That, or I Said This, You Heard That. So creating exclusionary disclaimers of what is not included in the quote is important as we're talking about what is included in the quote. So we're going to trim this branch, which means we are not going to trim this branch, right? Because if you don't, that which they're similar, they look similar. That which is similar is not the same, and that which is the same is not similar. Because if they were similar, they wouldn't be the same, and if they're the same, they wouldn't be similar, but they look alike. They're 2 totally different things. When you make a simple mistake, basically, we dug up the rocks and we washed the rocks for 2.5 hours. We did the best we could, and we did a good job. It's done. The customer's happy, it's fine. But I was like getting emotional, getting frustrated, going like, why would the customer think that we're gonna wash all his rocks? How? But dude, the customer doesn't know the landscaping. You tell them something, they literally take it literally. This makes perfect sense. I totally get it. This is my fault as the landscaper. It's just a learning lesson. All is well with the universe, and we're gonna get this job done. It just took an extra 6 hours, and I learned now that when I communicate with the customer, to be much more clear.
Now, once again, you might be like, why are they shoveling it into the wheelbarrows? If they have a dingo, what are they doing? I have to let you know, we're being very careful just to get the clean rocks off the top without getting any dirt in them, because we can't put dirty rocks back into the garden beds. So we're being super careful, and we're hand shoveling all the clean rocks now. And our original plan was to literally just take the dingo and scoop all that out of there. We didn't care if dirt was in the rocks or anything, because we were just going to put it all in the dump trailer and go dump it at the dump. But then when I realized that the customer wanted to keep all of the rocks on his property, and I clearly remember saying demolition garden beds, repurpose rocks, and dispose of any debris. I just made a mistake. The customer wanted to keep all of the rocks. So I just made an assumption. So there's something called presumption, assumption, and tacit agreement. This is like legal stuff. If you just make an assumption that the customer understands what you're saying, like we just thought we were going to put all the excess rocks in the garden beds, then all the dirty rocks on the bottom, we would just dump them. Why would the customer want to keep all the rocks when there's not even enough room for them? And in the end, we ended up actually having so many rocks, we had to dump a bunch. There was no place to put them. We spread them in the garden bed next to there and all around in the pool, all the clean ones. But anyways, yeah, this took hours of sifting through by hand and keeping all the rocks clean. It's just, I would never ever do this ever again. I just thought the customer automatically knew what I was talking about, so I did not include it in the contract that we would be discarding the dirty rocks, or it would be an extra charge. See, this seems very simple in hindsight looking back, but I just want to warn you or educate you, and myself too, that when you're telling a customer something, just like I was saying earlier, you have to have exclusionary disclaimers. So not only tell them what's included for the $2 or $3 or $5,000, you have to also talk about and put in the contract what is not included in the $5,000. So we're going to get all the clean rocks on top. We will be able to use them in your garden beds, but all the dirty ones we will not be able to use. We're going to get rid of everything dirty. Okay, what's clean from dirty? If you put it on a gradient, you might have samples or pictures of what's clean from dirty. When is a rock actually described or prescribed to be dirty? Like, when is a rock dirty? Aren't they all dirty? There's clean rooms, surgically clean, like a clean room clean, like a laboratory. And then there's a rocks coated in mud and dirt. So this is kind of getting insane here. You should have common sense and wisdom. But I just want to say, if you have a business, your customers have no clue what you're talking about. Just because you do landscaping every day doesn't mean your customer knows. So you got to be careful to communicate a lot. And another thing I realized is if your phone is ringing off the hook and you're doing lots and lots of landscape jobs and you don't have the time to communicate every little detail with every customer, if you've got a small, tiny little landscaping business, it's easy to make mistakes because you're just moving quick. About, 1 out of 20 jobs, you'll have a stupid mistake. It costs an extra 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. It just happens. It's part of the game. If it's happening all the time, like every other job, then you got a problem. So here we are, sifting through, getting as many of the clean rocks as we possibly can. I had pretty bad anxiety, and I don't know, but I had pretty bad anxiety because I was like, I can't believe we're spending all this time digging through all these rocks, and that was hard too. Very hard work digging through cobblestone. I don't know if you've ever done it before, but I do know one thing. whenever you're on a job and something's taking longer than expected or there's a delay, you just keep your nose at the grindstone, stay calm, stay hydrated, just keep chipping away at it, keep going, don't worry, and you'll get it done. Every single landscape job, and we've done thousands of them, literally. We've got them all done, customers were happy, and it's water under the bridge, and you learn your lessons. So, but if you expect to just get into like any business and just start crushing it, I mean, you can if you have the right people that are very experienced, but nothing beats experience. There's a lot of mistakes you have to make, and mistakes cost money and time. But my guys were real good sports. They knew exactly what was going on. It was very clear to them. They were like, yep, we're going to get a dingo. We're going to dig this stuff out. We're just going to load it all up in the dump trailer and grade it and be done. And then when I found out the customer wanted to save all the rocks, and the customer was adamant too. They're like, I don't want you taking any rocks off my property. I want to keep them all. You know, so all that matters is what the record states. What does the contract say? Actually, there's something that matters more than that. It's your goodwill and your good faith. So if you make a mistake on a landscape job, I think you should just eat it and learn your lesson. Don't say anything to the customer. Don't get upset. Just stay cool and do your job and get it done and make the customer super happy.
That was awesome. Neighbor down the street walked up, wanted a quote to get his ornamental trees trimmed. I gave him a business card, walked over, gave him a quote on the spot, sold him $750 to trim up a couple trees, ornamental trees, not big trees. Done on the schedule. It was like a 9-minute interaction. Now, I gotta dump all this dirty cobblestone. Most dumps don't take this stuff. This dump does, so I gotta drive out of the way. Know that ahead of time, that's a smart thing. Trying to eat lunch and I don't have anywhere to wash my hands, but yes I do. Look at this. I got this Sure-Can with water. Problem solved. Save on your Sure-Can 10% off when you go to their website. Promo code Keith10. Grass seed, peat and moss, hay. This is pretty flat. Peat moss over the grass seed. So I'm taking this wheelbarrow, loading the dirt up into the trailer and putting the tools back in the tool racks. The temptation was to just take the tools and just throw them on the grass and load the dirt. And I'm like, well, I'll just put the tools back after. But then I would be touching and picking up the same tools twice. Doesn't make any sense. So my friend William taught me this thing. Don't put it down, put it back. Don't put it down, put it back. Don't put it down, put it back. This is like the lazy part of your brain. So I'm going to put them back. These are called Equipment Defender racks. EquipmentDefender.com. You can save 10% on all this stuff with the promo code Keith10. equipmentdefender.com, and I'll also put a link in the description below this video to all my little affiliate partners. You can save and get discounts and stuff with my link Keith10. Like, okay, very nice. It's beautiful. Let's go look at the other one. And that's looking nice. Nice.
And there you go, sir.
I love you. Thank you, sir.
Hey, dude.